What is up, posse? Dino Gamer here, and welcome to another episode of t-ema. Well, guys, this is it. This is probably my biggest challenge to date. I have to watch what is likely one of the worst movies ever made in history. I'm, of course, talking about the cinematic tragedy that is M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender. Now, I want to try to make this as short and sweet as possible, but there's also so much that I want to talk about as well. So, for starters, let's talk about the man behind all the action, M. Night Shyamalan himself. This man was known for making some pretty good movies, like The Sixth Sense and Signs. Then his movies started to die down a little bit, starting with Unbreakable. Then he wrote Devil, which was a stupid thriller mystery. And by stupid, I mean it was just dumb. I mean the twist was completely out of nowhere and completely stupid. Then he wrote Village, which everybody hated because of the twist ending. If you haven't seen it, then go ahead and see it, or somebody will go ahead and tell you what it is, because it's just possibly the worst twist Shyamalan has ever produced. No, scratch that. It's actually the worst twist in movie history. He then made The Happening, which people consider to be his best so bad it's good movie. In fact, some consider it to be more of a comedy rather than a drama. Then he made Lady in the Water, which people also hated, but people also consider to be one of his best so bad it's good movies. And then we have The Last Airbender. Oh, and of course we can't forget The Visit, which is like it's an improvement in his career, I'll say that. But that doesn't give him an excuse for tarnishing and I'm surprised Michael Bay didn't do this, because he already tarnished Transformers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but M. Night Shyamalan tarnished one of the greatest animated shows of all time. Now, if you don't know the story about Avatar: The Last Airbender, it was a popular Nickelodeon TV show about a world living with four elements: water, earth, fire, and air. And all those four nations lived together in harmony. However, one day, the Fire Nation decided to take control, and they wanted to take over the whole world. And the whole world lived in fear of them. However, there was only one person who could stop them, and that was known as the Avatar, who could master all four elements and bring balance and harmony to the world. However, one day, he simply just vanished. Which is kind of weird, considering that, I don't know, I'm just gonna go along with it. It was still a pretty kick-ass show. And then, about 100 years later, in the Northern Water Tribe, two siblings, Sokka and Katara, come across an iceberg that contains a boy named Aang and his flying bison, Appa. And they discover that Aang is actually the next Avatar, because how the Avatar is selected is through different elements. Like, first the Avatar would first learn water, then earth, then fire, and since the last Avatar was a firebender, then Aang would be an airbender. And it turns out that Aang is the last airbender of his kind, because the Fire Nation knew that the next Avatar would be an airbender, and so they decided to just kill off all the other airbenders. And so it's up to Aang, Katara, and Sokka to go across the whole world just so Aang could learn the other three elements, water, earth, and fire, in order to defeat the evil Fire Lord, and everybody that stands in his way. So yeah, it was was a bit of a silly show, but overall, it was a lot of fun. I mean, so many great characters and visuals, and it's just one of my favorite animated shows of all time. I wish I could go into more detail, but that would probably just take way, way too much time. Maybe I'll get into it. I actually found, like, all 3 seasons of it in, like, Walmart or something. So then M. Night Shyamalan bought the rights from Nickelodeon to make the Last Airbender movie. And what did we get out of it? A big disappointment. That was what it was. And I know I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but I actually had somewhat high hopes for this movie. I know I'm a bit of a sucker for a lot of stuff. And I was a sucker for the Transformers movies, but after that, I'm starting to not trust some trailers. Well, actually, they are remaking some movies. Like, Disney's starting to remake some of their favorites into live-action ones. If you've seen my Jungle Book review, then you know that I absolutely love that movie. But let's go into more detail about The Last Airbender. It's kind of the same concept as the TV show, except with more... Except with more terrible acting. I mean, I know they're just, like, kids and everything, but holy crap, the directing is terrible. Oh, and did I forget to mention that M. Night Shyamalan not only directed this movie, but he also produced and wrote the movie as well. So, and there is actually one actor in there that I actually did enjoy, which is Dev Patel, who plays the evil Prince Zuko. Now, I actually enjoyed his work in Slumdog Millionaire, which I thought was a really good movie, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people do think it's a good movie too. But terrible acting, for starters. The script seems all mixed up. Like, how are they going to fit a whole season of a TV show into just one movie? In fact, I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes or something like that. I don't know. And, of course, there is this one complaint that everybody has about M. Night Shyamalan getting the races of all the characters mixed up. Like how in The Water Tribe you would have Eskimo people, when in the movie they look more like with white skin, and in the Fire Nation they have more like Middle Eastern or Indian skin tone people, when in the TV show they were more Japanese towards. Aang was probably the only exceptional one with the skin color, since they got him right. And a lot of it is just stupid. Like when they're taken prisoner to a prison for earthbenders. And I remember this in the TV show. They were brought onto a ship with no earth whatsoever around them. However, in the movie, there's earth all around them! You know, Shyamalan, I don't get you. Why do you like making bad movies? Do you like making movies that are so bad they're funny? Or do you like just like torturing us? Honestly, I have no idea. I don't think anybody knows. And yes, I know that The Visit, like I mentioned before, is a bit of an improvement like he did last time. Let's see now. So, bad acting, bad writing, of course bad directing, and skin tones getting mixed up, and overall it's just a really dumb movie. I never want to watch it again, as long as I live. Unless, of course, it comes down to that and Food Fight, but still, it's still, both movies are still terrible in their own different ways. And I don't want to watch them anymore. So, those are my thoughts, and now comes the most painful part, where I have to give it at least one good compliment, and, this is actually, like I mentioned in my Howard the Duck review, this is actually my toughest part. The toughest part of doing these shinimas is actually watching these movies and then trying to find at least one really good thing about this movie. However, one thing that did stick out to me in particular is it was kind of like during the climax, and the princess of the wait, was it the Southern Water Tribe? No, it's the Northern Water Tribe. Never mind. Katara and Sokka came from the Southern Water Tribe. I'm sorry. It's been a long time since I've seen the show. But General Iroh, or Iroh, as they call him in the movie, has joined forces with Katara and Sokka for momentarily. And the Moon Spirit has been killed, which causes the Fire Nation to take control of the battle against the Water Tribe. And it looks like all hope is lost when the princess decides to give herself up and become the next Moon Spirit. And Sokka's like, no, we have to do something. Oh, by the way, Sokka was just a stick in the mud. He was supposed to be the funny guy of the whole show, actually. But they actually did get her right get the princess right when they had her change her color from white to brown when she sacrificed herself in the water. That was probably the only really good thing about this movie. Okay, I wouldn't say really good, but I would just say it's good. The only good thing about the movie. So, that does it for my next episode of Shinema. Next episode, we're going to take a look at one of the worst comedy movies of all time. And of course, more gameplays will be coming up, and you're probably actually wondering why I'm not using my blogging cam, which I normally do for my other reviews and gameplays. And it's actually simple because I want to save my battery for, like I probably showed you guys in my BFG review, that I'm a bit of a WWE fan, and that there's an event coming up about next week, July 19th, that's going to take place in a city not too far from where I live. And it's going to be live on TV. So I would highly recommend that you don't see this movie. And again, another Shinema coming up, and more gameplays. I'll do as much as I possibly can. And until next time, see you later, posse.